What should you do if your ex is not contacting you after a no contact? You've listened to some videos online telling you that you should go no contact, you're going no contact, expecting your ex to reach out, but it's been weeks and months and you feel really anxious because you have no news, no signs from your ex. What should you do? This is what I'm going to explain in this video after the jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
First of all, why no contact if you're not familiar with that principle? It's because you've tried the opposite, obviously, and we all do that. When someone breaks up with us, the first thing we'll do is to fight this, to argue, to confront our ex, to stay in touch with our ex, because we feel that if we let go, they will forget, they will move on, all these kind of things. And you're watching this video is because you've tried this and it didn't work, and this is how you came to the idea of no contact. And the reason no contact is breakup is a long process. Don't get me wrong. No contact doesn't work in a lot of cases when the relationship is not really strong. Then you do no contact, yes, your ex will forget you and move on very quickly. But the thing is, what you're trying to recover is, it's a long process because your ex had something special with you. You had probably a history, perhaps you have kids. It was very hard for them to take that decision. And the idea of no contact is to take the time away from each other, to assess the situation, and to reduce all the resentment, all the tension that led to the breakup and potentially after the breakup. The reason they broke up with you was based on the feeling that it's not working. If you heard these words, trust me, there's a high chance of you getting back with your ex. It's a feeling, it's not working. These two things can be changed, can be reversed. And the way you do it, I'm going to explain what to do. The way to do it is to start with no contact. Because you can't change someone's mind in a week if they took 6 months to take that decision. It's as simple as that. So you need to let them a bit of space, and to yourself a bit of space. I'm a UK anxiety approved therapist. And from an anxiety point of view, having that space is essential if you feel anxious. Anytime you're in touch with your ex, that creates that anxiety, and it's really unhealthy. I also added in this slide that you can take the quiz, and this quiz is to know whether you have any chance to get back with your ex. I said at the beginning that no contact works if you have had a strong relationship, something meaningful. This is what I assess in the quiz with the other criteria to give you a score and tell you whether you have any chance, if it's likely, very likely, or not likely at all. The quiz is totally free. It takes 2 minutes to complete, and the link is in the description. Have a look if you haven't already. It's extremely helpful. It will give you more clarity on what to do next. So let's deconstruct this feeling not working. Feeling, so there's a lot of resentment, a lot of pain linked to that breakup. It's like any argument, you need to let things settle down a bit. This time, this argument is way bigger than the others. The best course of action is to let things cool down. You know, when there's a big argument, when there's a lot of tension, the worst thing you could do is to jump at it. You have to wait till things settle down. How long? It depends on the length of the relationship. It depends on a lot of criteria, but you have to give that space. The not working is the conviction, and this is what I hear very, very often. People tend to be convinced that you will never change. I've told you dozens of times, and every time you disappoint me because you don't do this or you don't change that. And therefore, you sort of create that belief, you reinforce that belief in your ex's mind that you will never change. And therefore, it's not working. Right? If only you could change this, things would be different. That's the way I do with my clients, is we work on those specific things, and usually you don't have like thousands of things you have to work on. Perhaps it's your anxious attachment style, perhaps it's about your communication. There's so many things, but usually when we assess with my clients on the first session what they need to work on, we come up with 2 or 3 things. So we can assess together what you have to work on. Obviously, when you work with the counselor, it's structured and you know that you're making progress and we can track and things like that. But this is what we do. And so you need space and time to address these things. And it takes a bit of time, but don't think that leaving a month, 2 or 3 to work on this will prevent you from getting back with your ex. It's actually the opposite, because it's going to create a lot of that feeling of they are missing out on something while you're working, you're growing, and their life in comparison to the potential new life will be sort of, how you say, you started like this, here they had a bad image of you, and over time what we have to do is to bring you there. Not necessarily pushing them down, but sometimes people are happy to be single and then they have a shock when they see their ex and they feel like, why am I single? Some people, they are struggling being single even if they took the decision, and when they see their ex the shock is even bigger. But that's the idea. What we have to do is what I do obviously with my clients, because I only work with one half of the couple, is to develop you and bring you where you want and where you need to be. From how long should you be worried? It depends on the length of the relationship and the dynamic, obviously. If you want to, if you're not sure whether you should break no contact or whether it's working, feel free to give me a call. I have 15-minute slots that I dedicate for free to anyone who want to ask me a question. And so yeah, don't hesitate. The link is in the description. In any case, at least 1 month. That's the rule. I know some people, there's like the 90-day rules, the 100. Honestly, I don't know where they come from. The reason I say a minimum of a month is because habits are usually formed in a month's time. If you go and see a therapist or a counselor, 1 month is really the minimum if you want to see a change in someone's life. So 1 month is really the minimum. And remember, if you feel like it's way too long, therapy takes months and years sometimes. Changing jobs takes months. Moving places takes months. And the reason you guys broke up is, I can assume, a very important reason in your life. Something huge, so huge that your ex decided to end things. And so it's not something you can change right away in 2 days. Telling them, oh yeah, I will change, I will be less angry. I will manage my anxiety. That's not something you can do in 2 days. Okay? You can break no contact. Yes. I know there's a lot of videos about you should never, ever break no contact. And there's 2 main reasons I don't believe that's the right approach. First reason, and it's by experience, if I knew that going no contact forever will increase your chance of getting back with your ex and helping you feel better about the situation, I will do it. But there are 2 main cases where I think it doesn't work. First one is when your ex is actually expecting you to reach out. And it happens quite often. Perhaps most when you're a man and your ex is a woman, there's the idea that the man should make a first move, which is actually more complex than that in romantic relationship, because usually it's the woman, but that's another question. But she feels, or they feel, that you should make a first move, even if they took the decision. And breaking no contact, in that case, if you've done a long no contact, it doesn't position you in sort of being weak. Okay? Sometimes you don't get the dynamic of the breakup, there's a misunderstanding, and they expect you to contact them. Okay? That's the first reason I think it's worth breaking no contact. The second reason Because otherwise what you do is you say no contact is a powerful process, is the only way for me to get back with my ex, and I'm going to wait till she or he reaches out. And you live with that hope that they will reach out. And I've had cases where people would wait years. Like the other day was 2 years. And he was telling me, like, I've done no contact for 2 years. Do you think she'll come back to me? And I was like, whoa, that's why. I mean, we had a session on this. But the thing is, you don't want to put yourself in a situation putting your whole love life on pause because you're hoping for something, right? And I'm going to explain you why it's so dangerous in a minute. So don't be scared. There's no harm in sending a message to your ex. Very frequently, we realize that our ex was scared and didn't want to reach out. And you won't come across as weak and needy as I described. But there's a thread to avoid. Is the kind of thread where the type of thread where there's only one side of the screen populated with your messages, right? You know what I'm talking about. Perhaps you've done it after the breakup. I'm going to show you what to do. If they reply, okay, hey, yes, good. Don't get too emotional, however. Find ways to assess where they're at and follow their pace. The problem you have, and that's why it's, so the problem you have is that you know what you want them back. For them, it's something they need to, it's not being convinced, but you have to bring them on that journey with you, right? Usually they have a feeling like, maybe they are 10%, you are 100%. That's the person I want to get back there. They took the decision, so obviously they are less than 50% sure. Let's say they start at 10%. You don't want to interact as if you're on the same page. You are not on the same page. They are not emotionally available. They're not ready to invest the same way you are ready to invest. If they are avoidant, they're not ready to commit. Don't talk to them about those kind of things. Don't address the reason of the breakup. Don't talk about you together. It's really growing in intensity every day when you're in touch with them. I don't have a game plan that would work for everyone. And I've tried for many years to try to find a game plan, but I'm always surprised that anytime I do one, it's not working because I have to change it. And that's why I have those calls. That's why I have in the description a link to WhatsApp me, because I know, and that's why I do WhatsApp. Most of my coaching now is on WhatsApp, because it's very hard to know what to do, what to say at a given time with your ex, depending on your situation. It's very hard to change and stretch yourself in terms of your communication style. But the idea, the principle is to follow their pace and be really aware of your emotions and try not to speak out of your emotions and rush things. Make sure you know what to say. 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. Is that something that's familiar? I have my clients every day on WhatsApp. I forgot that I did that slide, but I told you already. It's very hard to know what to say. It's very hard to know the right balance. Obviously, I have an objective pair of eyes on things. Given my experience, given the different clients I have with me, I know what sounds right. I know what sounds like they're ready to, you can increase a notch or you should decrease a notch, you took a step back. It's very subtle. And I'm using this video it's the only time I'm going to do this promotion. 50% off using the code Alexis to get WhatsApp coaching from me. The idea is you get unlimited sort of support. You can ask me as many questions as you like. And the code Alexis, it's limited in number because obviously I'm the only one doing this. So I have a limited bandwidth if you want to do everything. But that gives you access to me if you're about to break the contact and you don't know what to say, if you're actually talking with your ex and you feel like, I'm talking, because it's typical feedback I get before I onboard my clients. I'm in touch with her or with him and I feel like, one day she's, very engaged and the other day she's distant. So I really feel like I'm going one step forward, two steps backwards. What should I do? Am I doing something wrong? Usually, yes. That's why I've done this WhatsApp, because it also releases the pressure of what you should send and what you should do. So have a look on the website. I'll put a link in the description and get that 50% off. I think by the time I post this video, I might be sold out, but check in case there's remaining spots left. If they ghost you, that's the other scenario, and that could happen. Either they're still angry at you. That could happen. Maybe you broke no contact too soon, or they moved on for good. Let's be realistic. That's an option. In any case, pushing more won't get you more results. The same way when you push and you're clingy and you're needy after the breakup, pushing more when you break no contact is actually making things worse. And so the only option you have at this stage is to go to another phase of no contact and try again a few weeks later. It's the only option you have. It's not by sending another message telling them, guess what? It's not sending them a message about the recipe of a cake that you're doing for your grandma. It doesn't work. If you just send them a message like, have you been, or things like that, very simple message. Again, if you have any questions about what you should send, let me know. Ping me on WhatsApp. You don't have to overthink it. If they want to reconnect with you, they will reply. So let's talk about moving on. They ghosted you, you're struggling, you feel like, oh fuck, I missed my opportunity. Continue to focus on yourself. That's the only thing you should be doing, you can do and you should be doing. Personal development track, and then you reach out later. That's only how it works. Do not put your life on hold waiting for them. As I discussed before, you don't want to go in no contact and just waiting next to the phone. That's not the point. The point is, okay, what do I do today to make myself to feel better, to make myself more secure, to understand about attachment theory, about love languages, about psychology, about any areas in my life that I want to improve, right? Use that time. A relationship is 30 hours per week. Now that you're single, what are you going to do with those hours? Waiting next to the phone, waiting for your ex to call you? You can't wait long enough, right? So do something today. Don't forget to manage, nourish and take care of yourself. You're the most important person. That's not your ex. You are the most important person in your life. And so really remember this when you feel like, okay, I'm going to wait next to the phone and hope that he or she reach out. This is the circle of control, where the center is the things you can control. Your life, your actions. The things you can influence is the people around you. To some extent your ex, but to be fair, now that you guys broke up, it's going to be hard. And the other thing is the outside of your control and influence. When most of your brain activity, most of your thoughts are spent looking at things that you can't control, outside of this influence and control area, you're simply wasting your time. You're wasting your time, you're creating an anxiety, you're fueling those negative thoughts, and you feel that your life is either on hold or you just have someone driving your life and you're in the passenger seat and you don't do anything in your life. So the idea is not to increase your circle of influence, is to increase your circle of control. And accept that there are things in your life that you can't control. If it's raining outside, you can't control it. Don't spend time moaning about it, complaining about it. You can't change this. I'm saying this because I live in London. It rains a lot. Fair enough. I accepted it. When it rains, I take an umbrella. Whatever. It's the same. Your ex didn't reply to that message. It's not by trying to see what they're up to, their psychology, or thinking about influencing them and talking to their friends that would change the way you are right now. What would change the way you are and how you feel right now is anything you do that you can control, anything that you can control. And it starts with you. So here it is. You have to go to a point to reach a place where you feel, I did my best. So when I help my clients, I don't have 100% success rate. However, if you look at my Trustpilot reviews, I have nearly 95% satisfaction. And the 5% are 4 stars. Because what we do is we work really hard to making sure that we did our best. And when you do this, things are way easier, because as you have done this work of being, thinking, knowing that you were respectful, that you've changed, that you've grown, that you weren't complacent with the situation you're in. When you manage to find ways, strategies to love yourself, working with a counselor, with a psychologist, with whoever, knowing that you grew up as a result of that breakup, knowing that you can be happy without your ex, and knowing that obviously you can make someone happy, and you don't necessarily depend on your ex, and your ex doesn't depend on you. Things are way easier because you have no regrets whatsoever. And you go from a place of being completely regretful, be completely negative, not seeing any other way out, to a place of, okay, I understand now, and I have no regrets. I feel okay with this. And I've done that job myself from a place where, completely anxious, not being able to work, to a place of, well, I took things in charge. I took action. And I have no regrets whatsoever. And what I want is actually to change the perception of that reality. You will move on way faster if you feel no regret. So I surveyed my clients recently, and that's what they told me. I felt like, for the ones who didn't get back with the ex, I felt like, I was reading the story the wrong way. But thanks to you, I've worked to recognize that I've done my best, that I have no regrets with what happened, and with what happened after the breakup even more. And when you have this changes the dynamic. Because as you're the one working, as you're the one growing, you're the one winning. And they are the one losing. They took that decision. They assumed that you wouldn't have the gut, you wouldn't have the strength, you wouldn't have the stamina to do the hard work, to step outside of your comfort zone, to prove them wrong. They had this belief that, you'll always be the same. Right? Sometimes we have this, and that was a driver for me. And if it's a driver for you, that's sort of this anger to prove them wrong, so be it. Use it for you. When you feel like your ex is like, it's not that I despise you, but never gonna change. I don't trust you can. You don't have the potential. You have the potential, you're gonna do it. You're gonna work every day to prove them wrong. Put yourself in a situation where they are the one missing out on that diamond, on you, missing out on that person that made them happy in the past, and who had the guts, the energy, the stamina to really work hard, to really do anything possible to grow and be that new person. And my friend, if you do that, you'll see how much better you feel. You see how much stronger you'll be. And you'll have a new relationship, perhaps with your ex. But that new relationship will be stronger. The new relationship will be more fulfilling for you. That new relationship, you'll feel more secure. You'll feel better. And this is the only thing I can hope for you. If you have any question, anything you want to share, let me know in the comment section. And don't hesitate to like as well. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.